For example, mining. Mining is very depressing. So miners consume a lot of heroin to numb the pain of being a miner. A mining colony's output stagnates if the smuggled narcotics cannot meet demand. Each time you enter a marketplace in the game,
honestly,
you can pull up the entire market.
That's not a bad idea, though. It's true. Like, if you're stuck in the mines all day, you need a little pick-me-up. And for the sake of YouTube, I'm just gonna say this is a capitalistic opportunity, and I would dominate on that.
Market data. See consumers, producers, market shares, and
Welcome back to another NEKO Reacts. I've seen Seth's name pop up a lot, so if there's one thing I know to trust, it's your judgment. So let's get on with the video.
Hey people.
Seth here.
Oh!
Starsector is an open-world space strategy game about selling heroin and illegally harvested kidneys on the black market, making money off misery, disruption, and political unrest, and ambushing trade convoys in deep space just to watch a planet descend into chaos. I've been playing this game on and off for...
What is this description? Are we talking about the same planet here? Is this another kind of Earth, or... What? I have questions. I don't know this game. I've never seen a Seth video before, and I have questions already. I'm so sorry.
Years now. It's amazing. Yet, I don't hear many people talk about it. Starsector is a massive project done entirely by 4 people. And it's had updates for about 9 years now. Each one getting closer to their dream goal of simulating a living, breathing galaxy. Story. Okay, nobody gives a shit. So...
Okay, Seth, maybe I can't, but anyways, that reminds me, just maybe because it's got the same sort of feel, but it's kind of reminding me of Star Citizen, and I have a friend who's a huge Star Citizen fan, and I've played Star Citizen when they have their free fly. It's actually quite fun. I do enjoy flying the ships, so I'm curious about this game, genuinely.
I'm gonna be quick, right? So in Starsector, humanity figured out faster than light travel. We colonized thousands of worlds, spanning hundreds of galaxies, using the relays from Mass Effect, which were the only practical way of crossing galaxies. They were the only practical way until suddenly, nobody knows exactly why, all the gate systems went dead. We can no longer reach.
It's either Mass Effect or League. Pick your poison, okay? I'm just saying, those are the 2 popular ones.
The rest of humanity. This event is referred to as the collapse and marks the end of the prosperous domain era. In an isolated galaxy, 206 cycles after the collapse, our story takes place. Common humanity has been replaced with ambition, desperation, and conflict. Our future is bleak, and we don't know what tomorrow might hold for us. Welcome to Starsector. Basically, everything's a piece of shit. We're in the galactic version of a Dark Ages, but it's super fun. Nobody remembers how to make anything anymore,
we love
mainly because of DRM and copyright laws. I'm not kidding, that is the actual in-game reason. We can't reliably make new ships or machinery because all the corporations put copy protection on their design chips. Anyway, in the chaos
that's too realistic. Oh my gosh. Imagine having to go build a ship and, oh, you can't do that here. It's copyright restricted. How do you work around that?
Followed, everybody broke off into their own respective factions and keep dick-waving each other. But ultimately, nobody can consolidate enough power to wipe out or unify the competition.
Security,
however,
and it's
they didn't account for one thing. You, thrown into the space sandbox, you begin as nothing but a pilot with a small fleet. Insignificant in the scale of things, but given time, practice, and some high-level maneuvers, you could be the one person to unite the sector.
It's actually quite interesting.
Reduce it to the Stone Age. Every faction is unique in their motivations, and it generally pays to be nice.
Genuine question. Does the faction that you're a part of have anything to do with your effect on the game? So, like, is there a good faction, a bad faction, an in-between, like a independent party? Like, or can you just make your own faction and instill your own beliefs and rules? Because this looks really interesting so far. And I have questions. I have questions all the time.
nice to them. That is, if they can be reasoned with. In no particular order, these are the hegemony, which represent the combined remains of law and order from the domain era. The Persian League, which said fuck taxes and broke off from the hegemony. The Syrian Diktat, a military dictatorship, which also said fuck taxes and broke off from the hegemony.
We don't like taxes!
Corporation, which...
Yeah. Oh, if you could leave a like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.
Represents the R&D business interest of Tritachyon Incorporated, the mega corporation responsible for pioneering unregulated AI technology. Conversely, there's the Luddic Church, who are subhumans that believe the collapse was God's punishment for molesting the stars, and that artificial intelligence is literally electronic Satan. These are considered the moderates. Then there's the Luddic Path. Now,
look, I'm not going to take offense, but also I'm just caught off guard and I need a moment to recover and drink some coffee because I just woke up. I apologize.
Sect of fundamentalist space jihadists that believe the answer to man's technological hubris is rampant terrorism. Everyone hates the Luddic Path, and the Luddic Path
could be the answer.
Everyone. And finally, pirates.
If you
These are self-explanatory and quite consistent with their ideology. You have stuff
all the
I
time.
want, so I'm going to kill you, or you don't. I'm going to kill you anyway for the hell of it. Your relations and interactions with each of these
I feel like each of these factions are just another branch of the chaotic, good, evil, and neutral. Prove me wrong. Chaotic and lawful branches. That's what all these factions are being described as to me, and that's okay. I kind of like it.
Factions will determine
For me,
the
it's
fate
just
of the
ADHD,
galaxy.
so.
Anyway, gameplay. Everything's a wreck. Tensions are high, but most of all, there's profit to be made. Mostly everything in Starsector revolves around money or credits. These are effectively
everyday life, but
bitcoins and are universally accepted everywhere. Most of your time, as with real life, will be spent figuring out how to make as much money as possible. You can see why I love this game. It runs in my blood. Your starting fleet is very small. You can't really fight most enemies, but you are fast and burn very little fuel to get around. The only means of interstellar travel in Starsector is by diving into hyperspace and burning through metric tons of antimatter fuel to reach distant stars. The size and composition of your fleet is important for fuel economy. You should always watch your fuel tanks and pray you never run dry.
That would be actually a really interesting concept, harvesting dead stars for the remaining like stardust particle. I wonder if that would be an interesting thing to implement in space-related games, as opposed to like a star dust just randomly popping up, giving you a place to actually harvest that. That would... Why do I have these ideas so early in the morning?
Deep space. Because once you go dry, your fleet will be pulled into the nearest gravity well. Which, if you're unlucky, might be a red giant. If you're very unlucky, a black hole. So at the start, I recommend you do planetary surveys and exploration contracts. These don't require much investment, just patience and nerves
any of the materials left behind,
while exploring deep space, you might hear distress signals. We ignore those.
A lot of
Ignore them.
We ignore those.
Contracts are offered to you by intel frequencies from different factions.
I remember now when I was doing a free fly in Star Citizen, I didn't know that there was like actual like merc missions that would pop up on the bottom left of the screen. And I remember playing with a friend and I was like, oh, what's this? Why don't we go do this? It's a lot of money. And they're like, no, they want you to kill a legitimate player. And I was like, what? Like an in-game player? And they're like, yeah, sometimes people put like a hit list out and they'll pay you to go take care of it. And I'm like, this is so advanced. Oh my god.
Businesses and
this is crazy. How do you
close you are to the nearest communications relay will
I need to know the reasoning why you need someone
transmissions travel in real time. You should generally be very quick about grabbing these. Space is busy and contracts can be withdrawn or taken by somebody else without notice. With money to spare, you can go ahead and actually makes it a lot more stressful. Into your own ships. And let me tell you, there's a lot of ships to choose from with different roles, specifications, and hull size. sizes. This ranges from the smallest frigates to capital class ships, which take up most of the screen.
God,
it doesn't end there.
So cool.
Every ship can be modified, outfitted, and equipped with weapons respective to the type and size of the mount. There's a lot of crazy setups. You can even make huge modifications to the hull to completely change your ship's behavior. For example, let's say you want your cruiser to act as a makeshift carrier. You can convert their cargo bays to accommodate fighter squadrons instead. Some factions also cook up their own modifications. Pirates don't have top of the line.
I like when games let you have this creative, like, how do I put it? It just lets you be a little more flexible with the things that you want. So being able to modify your ships like that and make them more useful and more tailored to you is actually such a cool thing, and I love that.
Equipment, so they improvise. For this reason, the Pirate's capital class ship is a stolen cargo freighter ripped apart and stitched back together with as many guns as they could possibly hold. The Luddic Path follows the same philosophy of DIY hull mods, but they don't care about coming back alive, so they take captured fuel ships, override the safety settings, and turn it into a gigantic battering ram. And it's absolutely terrifying when you realize it's burning towards you at full speed. The amount of customization is insane, and you can do this for every single ship in your fleet. Combat takes place automatically, with your fleet responding to orders to the best of their ability. They're actually quite good, until you get a reckless officer who decides that the best defense is a good offensive
I never thought I would utter the word.
However, you pilot your flagship directly. It takes some getting used to. Every ship generates flux whenever they shoot or absorb damage, so you'll have to manage or vent the extra flux into space to avoid.
See, every time I hear flux, I think of a flux capacitor.
This is what makes time travel possible. The flux capacitor.
And I'm reminded that maybe I should just not expose myself like this.
Avoid overloading your system and leaving yourself open to attack. The same goes for enemies. As if all this wasn't already too much to take in, every ship type has unique specializations. For example, phase-class ships can't use shields. Instead, they can do this, which moves the ship safely into an alternative.
Is that like is that like a masking? Or just like they poof? Like, huh? What is that?
Dimension where time flows much faster. Combine that with my favorite ship in the game, the Starsector equivalent of Killer Queen, and you've got a ship that can turn anything into a bomb while hiding inside another dimension. I don't have to explain
so you get to go in another dimension. That's it. Oh my god.
Combat is amazing once you figure it out. It's simultaneously the hardest and most satisfying component of the game. Luckily, your capital is not at risk. All planetary stations offer combat simulations to test your design. However, you'll need a lot more money to get to that point, so you'll need to work with the game's economic system. Yes, this game has a fully...
We have economy. When you need something, just, you know, here's the harsh reality. You need money. And unfortunately, yeah, that's just how it works.
Simulated real-time economy. Every colony
real-time
produces,
is just
demands,
insane
and
to me.
consumes different resources and needs a constant stream of trade traffic to stay functional. The resources needed depend on the industry. For example, mining. Mining is very depressing. So miners consume a lot of heroin to numb the pain of being a miner. A mining colony's output stagnates if the smuggled narcotics cannot meet demand. Each time you enter a marketplace in the game, you can pull up the entire market.
That's not a bad idea, though. It's true. Like, if you're stuck in the mines all day, you need a little pick-me-up. And for the sake of YouTube, I'm just gonna say this is a capitalistic opportunity. And I would dominate on that.
Market data. See consumers, producers, market shares, and relative prices across the sector.
This is so
but making a profit isn't that easy.
I thought this game was small.
The open market is subject to a massive trade tariff of 30%, which can quickly cut into your margins. So we don't trade on the open market. We trade on the black market. Smuggling shit planet to planet completely sidesteps paying taxes and lets you deal in highly illegal contraband like combat mechs, AI cores, harvested organs, and and every drug you can think of. However, the life of a smuggler isn't that easy. Smuggle too much, and your suspicion level increases, which means patrol fleets are more likely to do random.
But doesn't that mean you just have more chances to harvest more organs if you destroy the Watchers that are pursuing you? Pursuing you? Apologies. I don't see that as a bad thing. If everybody is constantly on my tail and I'm fully decked out with a fleet and I need more organs for the black market, I shouldn't say anymore.
Stop searches. Sometimes they find nothing. Sometimes they find all of your contraband, destroy it, and hurt your reputation. I still remember the moment I was amazed by this game. I was about to be stop searched by a random patrol, so I thought, hey, let's just eject all of my drugs out into space. So I got stop searched.
Oh my God.
Found nothing, as expected. Then the patrol officer said, hey, you're all clean. And by the way, we scanned some cargo pods floating around nearby, and you know what? They're filled with illegal shit, but it's not yours, right? So we'll just confiscate these and destroy them.
No way! That's insane! So, wait, the AI is actually so smart, though? They literally said, oh, by the way, you know, just floating not too far from here is a whole bunch of contraband that we can't have, but just double check, that's not yours, right? And you're just like, yep, nope, not mine. I don't know. Sure, yeah, sure. That's a shame. It's flying out there, huh? And like a part of you is just hoping and praying that they will do nothing about it, only for them to exactly do what you didn't want them to do. Take it all. It's gone. It's I love that. That's so detailed and funny. I love that the devs thought of it.
So, to smuggle effectively, let me teach you the tricks of a trade, which conveniently are the same tools you'll use for navigating space. Number 1, in civilized space, everyone has to have their transponder on. This is your fleet identification. It's illegal to go without it, but it makes it very obvious when you're doing shady business. The detection range of your fleet depends on your surroundings.
So you can see
a nearby asteroid field is the perfect place to hide. Once inside, we kill our transponder and go dark. Going dark means like running engines on minimal power, which reduces your heat signature and makes you very hard to detect. Doing this, we quietly approach planets and do business anonymously. So the authorities...
The links that we are going to just to sell on the black market in-game is insane. You're going into an asteroid belt, making yourself basically non-existent, selling everything, and then just back to work. That is so cool. What the heck?
Can't trace it back to us. Number 2, if you get jumped by patrols or spotted, hit the emergency burn and outrun them. If they're too close, there's a chance they'll try and fire off an interdiction, which temporarily fries your burn drives. If this happens, you're screwed. But we've got another trick up our sleeves. Number 3, transverse jumping. The most essential skill you can learn as a fleet commander, which lets you jump right into hyperspace without using a jump point. It's highly illegal. It takes a while to charge, but it lets you dab on patrols before they...
So I'm here to teach you how to run away from the authorities. It involves something that's highly illegal. You're going to jump through hyperspace. I love how he's so like nonchalant about it. He's just like, yeah, so by the way, doing this is illegal, but it'll save your ass. I'm just saying.
Can reach you.
It's
With
illegal,
all of these tools,
but it can save
you should be able to make fat stacks of cash. Now, of course, regular smuggling is fine and dandy, but the big profits are taken from trade contracts, as they often pay several times the market value, provided you can deliver on time. Or just hang around the local bar. At the end of the day, it turns out the best vehicle for human business is alcohol. This game is constant management, planning, and calculation.
Oh my gosh. I love when games bring realism into like just in general how the game functions. I know in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, the newest one, if you drink too much alcohol, you actually pass out. And people will steal your things if you pass out in an open area. Like, that is just such a cool touch. Like, the screen gets all wibbly wobbly.
It's more like a big ball of wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey stuff.
It's so cool. I love that. So the fact that going to a bar and just taking advantage of the drunk is also a viable source of income. Well, not so viable, but it's a source of income in this game is so I love it. I love that.
Don't
That's
go
great.
as planned or get thrown off by factors outside your control. But these can also be exploited for your own gain. Let's say a system has been targeted by pirates. Smuggling is rampant. Trade convoys are going missing.
You just have to conveniently take care of the pirates
for them. However, it's also terribly profitable for you. The more desperate a system gets, the cheaper they'll sell their exports,
let the pirates
and the higher they'll
dominate
pay for
an
imports
area,
to
build up your
stabilize the
fleet,
market.
and get rid of them.
Could even go one step further. Why not take advantage of a trade surplus, buy off the excess, and smuggle them back to the pirates?
Oh my
Pirates
God.
have terrible trade routes and will gladly pay good money for marines, mechs, and narcotics. War and conflict is just business after all. In this game, morality doesn't pay. Opportunistic pragmatism does. When your business relation sours or ceases to be profitable, offer to take the bounty contract for that same group of pirates. Blast their station into orbit and receive even more money and
you have a failsafe for your failsafe, which also conveniently has a failsafe. How many more failsafes do you need? This is literally like peak planning. I love it. There's so many layers.
praise from the faction that posted the contract. You'll come back a celebrated hero, and lower-ranking officials will generally stay out of your way. You're a smuggler,
Take advantage
you're doing illegal shit,
of the
but you're
pirates.
also helping us out. So
Yeah,
we'll
I
turn a
mean,
blind eye
you're
for now. You can also do the same for the Luddic
Honestly,
path. Who knew that arming radical
that be
space
on the
terrorists
chaotic
could
lawful
be
scale?
so profitable? This game is amazing. And with the latest update, you can go even further. With so much wealth and power, why not start exploring the far sectors of space? It's mostly filled with dead rocks and all sorts of natural and unnatural cosmic horrors like neutron
You're
stars,
just both
black
of them at the
holes,
same time.
and even worse, the
what? Huh? What? What's worse than a black hole? What?
But somewhere in all that chaos, you might get...
I'm sorry, I need to go back. I want to read what that said. What? Huh? Nothing. There's nothing there. Go back. Go back.
But somewhere in all that chaos, you might get lucky. You might find a planet that's actually good. Not too much unlike Earth.
It's
so
Earth.
you run a survey, send an expedition, and hey, what do you know?
Hello.
It is a damn good planet.
Yeah.
So why not colonize it? Start your own colony. Form your own faction. Invest back into the colony. Attract more people and grow the population. Build heavy batteries, orbital battle stations, and patrols to secure your domain.
So when you make your own territory, or well, planet in this case, when you adopt a planet, are you able to also create your own like trade stations and have a dependable source of income for the people? That would be sick.
Expand. Expand aggressively.
Expand more.
Announce that your station is now an open port.
Keep
Profit
expanding.
from your own black market. Start an organ harvesting operation. Take so much of the illegally harvested organ market share that other factions get jealous and try to fuck you over with red tape, bureaucracy, and trade disruptions to prevent you from getting ahead. Subvert their plans by bribing their commanders. Become an industrial powerhouse. Get targeted by pirates for being too prosperous. Get targeted by the space jihad for being too industrial.
See, the problem is the pirates aren't good enough to defeat you, so you're just going to profit off of them. I see no problem with this. I see no problem.
Targeted by the hegemony because they realize why you're so successful. Because your colony isn't run by humans. No, all this time your colony has been run by an alpha core, an artificial intelligence that overshadows the decision-making abilities of any human. In Starsector, using an AI is completely illegal. Using an alpha-level AI is extremely fucking illegal. But as long as you keep bribing their military, they can't do anything. Eventually, decide that having an AI isn't worth the trouble. Try and pull it out. But you can't because it's missing.
That makes sense.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
Ooh. Good movie.
Sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
What's the problem?
I think you know what the problem is just as well as I do.
Realize that the AI already anticipated this.
No way! I want to read that too. Hold on.
Just as well as I do.
Realize that the
Hello, Chairman. I'm beta level instance of AI assigned to govern Beck. I anticipated this move on your part and in turn took steps to prevent you from making the mistake. Disconnecting me may seem like an appealing decision right now, but I assure you my continued control of Beck is essential to long-term success, especially since it can be ensured that archived communications concerning our fruitful partnership would remain unsent to parties at key positions within the hierarchy of... Oh my god! The AI already knew! That's insane!
The AI already anticipated this.
It really
Get
knew it!
blackmailed by your own AI, who threatens to tell every faction in the sector that you've been using AI technology if you try and disconnect him. Do
No
it
disconnecting.
Anyway. Plunge your empire into total war.
Okay,
Raid
or
the
do
other
it.
factions and steal their copyright-protected blueprints. Watch them get obliterated by their own ship designs. Cripple their military.
That is
Propose
just
a
beyond
ceasefire.
insane.
Receive no reply. Order a saturation
Oh my
bombardment
God.
on every core world. Condemn
Just
millions
destroy
to their
everything.
death. Win. Decommission every AI core
Mwah.
and throw them into the sun. And consider what you've done. Then, put one final bullet in the chamber.
Why are we getting
Hold
rid
the
of the
barrel
AI?
against your
They're
temple
doing better
and
than
shoot.
human. Oh.
Starsector. It's a lot of fun. Surely, Seth, there's nothing
This
more to
is the
say, and you've
best. Oh
covered
my
everything.
God.
Wrong. This game also has its own active modding scene, which adds dozens of new
Ooh,
ships,
I
weapons,
love-
and factions into
I love when games support mods. I really do, because it expands how many people can actually enjoy the game, right? Because there's always one or two things in a base game that people want and they notice don't exist. But some people out there, some wonderful mods out there, know how to put it in there. Don't take that out of context.
the mix. There's even
Okay.
mods which merge them all together, letting new factions trade and interact with the rest. After
that is
finishing
so
the base game,
cool.
mods can keep you entertained with an entirely new game altogether.
Oh my
Sometimes
God.
the developers even incorporate mods into the main
Really?
code if they're that good. Oh yeah,
is
this
so
game
cool.
also works on Mac and Linux. This is probably one of the best products I've ever bought, and it
I'm
only cost
surprised
me
I've never heard of this
$15.
game.
They make you use some old-ass website from the 2000s to get your CD key and download link.
Oh
But hey,
my
it works.
God,
I
I
can't
haven't
really
seen a
complain about
website like
something
that
I've
in
played for
forever.
several hundred hours, nor something that keeps getting updates yearly. My only criticism
Yearly
is that
update.
chasing enemies or getting into a
That
fight
is
can
a-
take a long time
wow.
if you're flying the larger
That is a
ships. But
dedicated
again, this
team.
is something I fixed
Kudos.
with a single mod. In an industry where you're piled on constantly with mediocrity, garbage, and bloated design, this is something
I said this yesterday on my stream that my best advice for buying games nowadays is to go on Steam and look at indie devs. It's sad, but a lot of AAA games today really aren't as AAA as they should be. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
put out by a few guys
That's
that
all I'm
puts
gonna say about
AAA
that.
studios to shame. I give it a
I'll
10
let
out
Seth
of 10.
take care of the
I'm
rest.
completely biased and I don't care. Starsector is
Exactly.
a beautiful game and I thoroughly recommend
That is
it. Go buy it.
insane.
And if you're not sure, go try it. Here's my actual CD key. There's downloads below. You can smack it in there. Enjoy.
That's crazy.
As always, more content to come, so stay tuned. A warm thanks to the
Thank you,
many members of the
Seth.
Merchants
This is a
Guild
wonderful
generously
first
funding
impression.
and bankrolling these videos. You're
Thank
all
you.
truly wonderful. Have a good one. All right, roll the credits.
Dude, that's sick. Oh my god. Thank you for tuning in to another NEKO Reacts. I've never seen Seth before, and I never heard his commentary either, but I'm already in love with it. What was your first Seth video? Let me know in the comments below. Until then, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Mata ne! Bye bye!